wear a helmet, there's really not much I can do for the physical health of the mind, other than, of course, diet, which we'll be able to talk about. But there's so many other ways that we are controlled and manipulated, because if you can control the minds of the people, you control the people. After you get up in the morning, do some exercises, go for a run, do some meditation so that you're able to finally quiet your mind, be fully aware and conscious and awake and really centered and able to, deal with your day, move forwards with a focused mind in the perfect, WOG adaptive way. Everyone in the world is going to be trying to knock you off balance. This is the purpose of media and broadcasting and advertising, is to make you unbalanced, to make you believe that you have wants and needs that you don't actually have. What the goal is to try to maintain your focus, peace, and calm, no matter how you choose to create your focus, peace, and calm throughout the whole entire day. If you take your focus, peace, and calm through inspiring yourself with religion and things like that, you want to be able to do that for the entirety of your day so that you don't get outside and you immediately return to being afraid again. Because you're like, oh my God, there's all these problems in the world, and you wind up getting overwhelmed, and before you know it, you're down there, paying $25 for a pack of smokes. Okay, so you want to avoid that. The way you avoid that is to just create it so that the ideas and influences of reality, of these perceived realities that advertisers try to sell to you, just kind of go over top of you. Kind of like armor for the mind, like brain armor, if you will. We're going to just go over a few different ways that you can do this in your home and abroad, when you're out and about being mobile. First and foremost, any piece of equipment you get, you want to sanitize it the moment you purchase it. Moving across the table here, I've got examples of a whole bunch of different ways, a whole bunch of different things, but try to keep with me. We'll see where we're at. The first thing we're going to do is, no doubt, wherever you get this particular program, you probably got it from a computer. And doing things on computer, well, everyone goes out, purchases themselves, usually a laptop. Most things are done on laptops now. Mind you, the desktop is a far more powerful unit, much more practical, but depending how mobile you have to be. Me, I primarily use a laptop because I'm everywhere. I'm scattered. I'm all over the place. What you want to do is make sure, first of all, that you're not littering. Okay, you're not broadcasting, being like sort of a spammer. Okay, a reality spammer. Just because you purchased a laptop and you happen to like your laptop, that doesn't mean that everyone else needs to know what kind of laptop you've purchased. First of all, you don't want to spam and advertise for free. The second reason is because if people know what make and model your laptop is, even in today's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi concepts, they might know some default stuff. If they can readily identify what kind of laptop you have, maybe there's some default passwords, some backdoors you don't know about. Maybe there's certain things about that laptop you're not aware of. So, no one needs to know anything about your equipment more than anyone else. What I do is, right off the top, is I try to hold as much, try to cover up all the labeling on the laptop as best I can. Now, some laptops have it actually ingrained into the laptop itself. You can't get it off of there. Laptops are pretty fun anyway for doing stickers. So what I use on my laptop is I use stickers. First thing I'm going to put on here is I'm going to put my RANT radio sticker on, try to keep it fairly nice. Now, some people could say, but Sean, you're now advertising for RANT radio. Yes, I am. Once we've determined who you're going to sell out to and all that good stuff, I figured, it's okay. I'm pretty heavily involved with these guys. I enjoy it. Other stickers, if you don't know what else, well, I don't really want to sell it to anyone. Go get yourself hazardous warning stickers. Part of the RANT radio logo was taken from a hazardous warning sticker, and they're fun. They're great, and they're scary looking. Look at that. That tells people to stay away from this thing, and they're great fun at the border. I actually had a cop one time ask me, he said, is there any biohazardous infectious waste actually in your laptop there? And I'm like, no. Because if there was, surely I would tell this fine law enforcement officer. Throw it on there, and it looks pretty. It looks nice, looks fairly official. Try not to get any bubbles in there. Boom! You've now got a sanitized laptop. Everything you get has to be sanitized. Make sure it's clean. Make sure you're not littering. After we do that, the next order of business, because people see that. This is what they see while you're working, and they don't need to know what kind of laptop you have, what the make or model of any of that is. Since WOGs don't watch television, what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to get your news and media somehow. And of course, we get our news and media through the same way, well, all good people get their news and media through the internet. And when you're surfing the internet, there's a variety of browsers and things like that you can use, but only one of them is really any good, and that is Firefox. The reason why I have gone with Firefox is I now invoke the wrath of the entire computer culture. The reason why is because of ad block. Firefox, browser created, distributed for free, has a feature, a plugin that you can put into the browser. A number of them, actually. One of them is the weather one, which never, ever, 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 ever is accurate, but that's okay. You know, it's not good to try to base your filming around a browser plugin. Generally, one of the greatest plugins I've ever seen, and really, I would encourage people to download and install Firefox for this browser plugin. There probably are other browser plugins similar since Firefox came out with it, but it's called AdBlock. And what they do is, as you surf the web, you will look and there'll be advertising all over the web now. The web is completely covered with ads and banner ads, and it's everywhere. You can't get away from these things. So what you can do now is you can actually click on the image and ad block it. When you look at the page and reload it, it's gone. It's completely gone. There's no more banners, and you can gradually get rid of all the different banner engines. Everything is fantastic, and suddenly you get your internet back, and you're finally able to go to a website and look at news and things like that without constantly being bombarded with all these advertising. So that's one method you can kind of apply, you know, sanitization to your digital life or your digital self, your avatar, as you were. There's two places you're going to be going online. Now, going online is very dangerous because it does actually, you know, you got a lot of news there, things like that. You're making a lot of connections with people. Your ICQ list or your messenger list of any sort of type shouldn't be this massive conglomerate. You want to make sure you keep the people you communicate with to a really good group. You've got your friends, you've got acquaintances, you've got people you talk to, but you'd always have a core group. So don't spread yourself too thin. Okay, otherwise everyone kind of invades your life. You wind up getting out of balance, and that's not good. How do you avoid losing balance while you're online? Now, there's a couple of ways you can do that. First of all, just don't take too many messages, incoming messages. Do everything in a certain order. Try to maintain your calm. And there are ways that you can use your own senses to help you with this, both at home and abroad. First of all, one of the strongest senses that we have is the sense of smell. You know, the perfume industry and the fashion industry cater to this thing huge, and they're putting pheromones into perfumes and weird chemical concoctions to try to make you more trusting and all this sort of jazz. Rather than just, you know, leave yourself open to subject yourself to any smells, I would choose a scent that you would prefer to smell over everything else. Now, I, myself, came up with an aroma going through all the aromatherapy stuff that I would advise people to use. It's easy to make. You use it with usually I use a grapeseed oil extract, and you get a bottle of grapeseed oil extract or another carrier oil with no scent itself, and you can use this. It's a universal oil. You can use it as a massage oil. You can use it as an essential oil to smell. You can use it as a diffuser blend, what have you. But the blend itself, the grapeseed is just a carrier. You don't have to use the grapeseed. But the oils you need to remember are frankincense, equal parts frankincense, eucalyptus, champa, and ylang-ylang, however you say that. Y-L-A-N-G, Y-L-A-N-G. Relatively inexpensive, those four. The frankincense gets a little bit pricey. How I came to this conclusion had nothing to do with the odor. As a matter of fact, I went through all my aromatherapy books, found out the ones that mostly affect the mind and the respiratory system, and allows you to do all this mystical, metaphysical stuff. And the big heavy hitters were those four. Now, when you combine those four together in equal portions, so that you wind up with a few drops, and then you combine them, you know, look in your aromatherapy books. Sometimes they'll say that, you know, you want to have like 20 drops per, or like 4 drops per 20 drops of your carrier oil or whatever. But those are your essential oils in a blend that you then mix with your carrier oil. And I call that particular blend Navras, after one, the really cool song from the Matrix soundtrack, and two, the term used in Hindu culture, which, look it up online, you'll find all kinds of stuff about that. Now, there's a couple of ways you can use essential oils. At home, you can take them and put them in a diffuser. A diffuser is nothing more than a candle in a little bowl where you take, a few drops. I use way too much of the stuff because, well, my wife says, you only need a couple of drops, and I'm like, well, if some is good, more is better. You take that, you throw that in your diffuser, light up a candle, that goes on top, and about, 10-20 minutes later, what happens is the water, the candle, of course, evaporates the water up top here, and it, permeates throughout the entire house. This is very good because it's very clean. Very